Happy Monday. It's July 20th, 2020, and it's another day to be thankful to being on the right side of the ground. Welcome to today's episode of The Modern Believer, the podcast that reminds us that the good news is that there is good news. I look forward to enjoying this cup of coffee with you today. On today's episode, we will be talking about how 4 people in Durham, North Carolina have been going above and beyond during these times and providing 1,000 meals a week for those in need, a telehealth company that has been doing their part for racial and economic justice, and how business owners in St. Cloud, Florida got together to give love to 2 brothers that always have a positive attitude. Something I meant to say last episode, but I didn't, is that there are new episodes every Monday and Friday. So big thanks for everyone for sharing, subscribing, and leaving their feedback in the form of a review. Please continue to share with your loved ones, coworkers, and anyone else that you believe may enjoy some good news. Also follow on social for more good news throughout the week. Before we begin, you may be wondering, Eddie, what or who is the modern believer? That's a great question. Here's my answer. The modern believer is you. It's our families. It's me. It's our communities. In a world with so many contrasting views and news that we are constantly bombarded with that do the opposite of cheering us up, there's one thing that we can all agree on, that we all enjoy a good story to start our day or end our day with a positive note to remind us that there is a lot of good going on. The modern believer is an individual that believes and knows change will happen, one believer at a time. Let's begin. Hundreds of free meals. Huge shout out to Elijah King, Grant Rollman, George O'Neill, and Andy McGowan. These 4 individuals have been the reason why over 10,000 meals have been served in Durham, North Carolina since the start of this pandemic. Durham Neighbors is an organization whose sole focus is to help those in need, one meal at a time. When the public schools closed in Durham, the reality was that many students would be faced with food security challenges. Elijah King, a former student of Riverside High and now a student at UNC Greensboro, go Spartans, had the idea to launch a program to help fill that need. He reached out to local business owners like Grant Rollman of Hombucha Kombucha, who already had been in contact with local farmer George O'Neill of Little Farm about a very similar project. They quickly formed a team and began organizing, boots on the ground, adding Andy McGowan from Gear Street Garden as a partner to help prepare the meals. They are now providing over 200 meals per day, everyone. 200 meals per day. We're talking hundreds of families, right? Hundreds of people impacted. Again, not once a week, but 5 days a week. And with the support from the community, they have raised over $120,000. Their mission is simple: to provide healthy, accessible meals for anyone whose food is insecure. The focus is Durham public school students, the homeless population in the area, and workers who have been laid off in relation to COVID-19. That being said, anyone in need of a meal can most definitely have it. If you are in the area, there are many ways to help. You can volunteer. You can also do a tax-deductible donation, drop off food, and the most important resource of them all, by donating water. Having grown up in the Triangle myself and been a kid that at one point had subsidized lunch through middle and high school, this one really hit home. Thank you, Elijah, Grant, George, and Andy. Keep on keeping on. Freesia 100,000. New York City-based Freesia has been doing their part during these times. With the help of their footprint in Raleigh, New York, and Ottawa, they have raised over $120,000 for the Equal Justice Initiative, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and World Central Kitchen. Freesia's co-founders and their spouses, Chaim and Jennifer Indig, and Evan and Suzanne Roberts, pledged a collective donation of $50,000. Like I said last episode, it really is great to see companies use their platform for the greater good. Here are some bullet points of the organizations they are supporting. The Equal Justice Initiative is committed to ending mass incarceration, excessive punishment, and to protect basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in American society. The NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund fights for racial justice. Founded in 1940 under the leadership of Thurgood Marshall, the first African-American Supreme Court justice, their mission is to achieve racial justice, equality, and an inclusive society. And finally, World Central Kitchen, founded in 2010 by Chef Jose Andres. They use the power of food to heal and strengthen communities through times of crisis and beyond. Since its founding, they've served over 25 million meals worldwide. The company is matching each donation, dollar for dollar, up to $50,000. And just recently, over the last few weeks, the board of directors announced a donation of $60,000. Freesia is a technology company based in New York City with offices in Raleigh and Ottawa. Their goal is to improve healthcare, one patient at a time. Round of applause to Freesia. Love your neighbors, y'all. Alan and David Sanders are brothers with autism who work at 10th Street Produce in St. Cloud, Florida. They are two well-known people in the area that always carry a smile and positive attitude with them. They first thought that their bikes were stolen, but in reality, local businesses got together to revamp their old bikes. The reason these bikes needed some revamping and love is that these two brothers bike 5 miles. Nope, you're wrong. 14 miles every day, 6 days a week to get to work. That's 84 miles a week, over 4,000 miles a year. Kyle Lombruno of Bruno's Glazing Products and Services came up with the idea, and with the power of community, got together with people to donate parts and labor. The new bikes were actually unveiled at the city's ribbon cutting during its phased reopening. The brothers said, "This act of kindness is priceless." There are so many people in our communities that have an impact on us just by being the way that they are, giving love, expecting nothing in return. Think about that one really nice individual at your local grocery store, or that mailman or mailwoman that goes above and beyond. Next time you see these folks, just ask them how they're doing. Have a genuine conversation with them. If you have a lemonade, it is summer, offer them a glass or a meal. Give love to others that give love, expecting nothing in return. I want you to think of one thing that you are grateful for today. If you think of more than one, that's great too. Let's take a few seconds to be grateful. One thing I personally am grateful for today is water. Something that seems so simple and accessible to so many of us, it's probably the easiest thing to take for granted. The reality is that between my shower, brushing my teeth, and my cup of coffee this morning, may have already used more water than millions of people may probably use this week. What's the one thing you're thankful for today? Today, I'm grateful for all the Tylers and Kristens out there. Happy birthday to you both. The world became a better place when you were born. More specifically for today, huge birthday shout out for our friend Jay in Edmonton, Alberta. This little trooper turned 2 years old and has proved that the human spirit is truly relentless. After surgery to remove his kidney and a tumor, Jay went through 6 months of chemo, and he finally got to ring the bell 4 days after he turned 2 years old. Jay, you're an inspiration to us all. Love you, buddy. If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Keep pushing and let every day's small and big successes compound onto one another. Though we can keep talking for hours and hours about the good news going on, you need to go about your day. Fly. Be free. But before you go, please continue to reach out. Loved all the DMs and emails of good news this week. This will all eventually go into the good news vault. Also, please continue to share and leaving feedback in the form of a review, download, and follow. Remember, new episodes every Monday and Friday. What cool stuff is going on in your community or company? What do you want to hear about next? Ultimately, you're the one that's taking the time to join me and all the other modern believers out there. If you see good news as well, please hit that post with the hashtag good news is the good news. I want to thank you for your time and remind you that I love you and I am immensely proud of you no matter where you are in life. You have a friend in me. Remember that we are human and it is important to feel. We all have days that we wake up and either we're in a great mood or we're in a bad mood. The days that we are in a bad mood, it's important for us to take a step back and look for that one thing to be grateful for. Just the one. Because just because the day starts like that doesn't mean it has to end like that. Smile. You are breathing. You're already winning in that one way. However, if it does end the same way, no, it's okay. That's completely fine. The sun will rise again tomorrow. When we are feeling great, it's up to us to give that love back to the world. That smile we give, uplifting attitude, and to all the people that we encounter in our daily life, like cashiers, store clerks, or someone handing us our food, may just change their day. And maybe, just maybe, everyone, just thanks to that love that we give them today, they start spreading that love to others. And then we build a beautiful chain reaction of love. Stay blessed and keep fighting the good fight. Thank you for joining today's episode of The Modern Believer, the podcast that reminds us that the good news is that there is good news. Make it a great day.